Secret Mom Hacks, episode number 49. My name is Krista, and I'm your host. It's January 10th, 2024, and I'm thrilled to be back with another interview for you today. Before the holidays, I had the pleasure of connecting with Beth Wheeler, who is the CEO of Moms Loving Moms, which is a nonprofit right here in Middle Tennessee that serves new moms in our area. Now, Beth and I covered a lot of ground in our chat. So today's show is part one, and part two will be released next week. So save the date. I cannot wait for you to hear our conversation because this organization Beth created is brilliant. And I wish it would have existed when I had my daughter. Now, you're going to hear all about her story and how Moms Loving Moms was born in just a couple of minutes. But in a nutshell, Moms Loving Moms delivers free postpartum recovery kits to moms here in Middle Tennessee. Plus, Beth is also a licensed pastoral counselor. So the organization also offers new moms up to 3 free counseling sessions. Seriously, every new mom in this area needs to know about this free resource. If you don't live here, maybe this is an opportunity to see how you can help bring this concept to your area. I don't know, just a thought. I know Beth does have plans to expand, which we touch on in our interview. It's just a matter of scaling in a manageable way. Okay, but I don't want to put the cart in front of the horse. We have many helpful things to cover in today's chat. But before we get into all of that, I just want to say thanks for tuning in, Mama. I started this podcast because babies don't come with instructions. As of this recording, I am chasing around a 5-year-old that no amount of Googling, mom groups, or books were able to prepare me for. There's a lot of stuff people don't talk about when it comes to pre-pregnancy, during pregnancy, and postpartum. And as someone who was previously terrified of all of the above, I'm here to help you pull back the curtain on all of it. And every now and then, it may get a little messy. We may share a little TMI, but that's why you're here, right? My goal is you will leave every episode feeling refreshed, inspired, and hopeful, knowing you're not on this mom journey alone. Now, there's a lot of subject matter to cover when it comes to mom life, and we are covering it all. So let's jump into today's interview. Beth Wheeler is the CEO with Moms Loving Moms. I remember when I first discovered her and her business, I was like, truly, everybody needs to know about this, everybody here in this area. And we have listeners all across the US and in 20 countries, which is very exciting.
Yeah.
So I'm really just excited to hear more about your message and hear about the impact you have here in this area, as well as potentially other areas across the US and around the world too. So, Beth, tell us a little bit about your kiddos and however much or little of your birth story you care to share.
So I have two kids. My son, Bruce, he is three and a half, and his birth was not at all what I expected for it to be. I'd planned for an all natural birth that was going to be beautiful and all the things. And then getting closer to whenever he was due, I'd had some high blood pressure issues, and closer to it, we ended up going the hospital route, which I was fine with. I was comfortable with it because I felt better knowing that everybody was going to be there and it would be okay. But ended up having I think it was like a 38-hour labor. It was very long, very gruesome. I ended up with third-degree tears. It was like almost a C-section. It was very interesting, to say the least. It was a very interesting labor and birth experience. And then my daughter, she came along. She is now about 20 months. So I think they're about 20 months apart. Her experience was complete night and day difference. She came so quickly. And I kept hearing that with the second one. They always say, like, the second one comes so much faster. But no joke, I barely made it to the hospital with her. It was so fast and just so wonderful. And my recovery with her was just a breeze compared to my recovery with him. And it was, yeah, a completely different experiences. But I don't know, I kind of counted a blessing being able to have experienced both, because I remember with my son, I was like, all I knew was the awful, painful recovery. And then I'd see other people that didn't have that. And I was like, well, good for you. And I had my second one. I was like, oh, okay, I understand this now. I've seen both and it's great. And there's so much that goes along with it. But Yeah, so I've experienced a wide variety of different kinds of deliveries with both of them.
Yes, both sides of the spectrum. That's
Yeah,
nice.
yeah.
Have those experiences.
Yeah, it was really nice though, because with my daughter, I actually had her in the exact same room that I had had my son in. We didn't plan that. It just kind of happened. They just put us in the same hospital room. So it's kind of like this redeeming moment. I was back in the same spot and it went so much
Yes.
more smooth and so much more just like beautifully. So it was really cool to see how that worked out.
Absolutely, and it's already such a so I've only had one so far, but when you've never gone through something like that and you're in this unfamiliar place, unfamiliar people, and just this area where lots is buzzing on around you, and it can be scary, which again was kind of another part of my inspiration for starting this podcast is
Yeah.
just if all of us moms come together and just rally around each other and coach each other through it, talk each other through it, like, we're gonna get through it. It's gonna be fine.
Yeah.
And yes, it can be a little scary, but any change is scary. Well, tell us a little bit more about your personal journey, if you don't mind, and just what inspired you to create Moms Loving Moms.
It was after my son, so with my first delivery experience, and like I said, it was a very rough experience. I went into postpartum just completely unprepared for the physical recovery side of it. I was in so much pain, and the recovery portion was, I mean, it was taking so much longer than I had ever anticipated. And I just had so many complications and so many things that no one had talked to me about or had prepared me for, and the hospital sent me home with things to last me for like 2 or 3 days, and I was like, "This is not going to work." And because I am in the mental health field, I'm very big on self-care, and so before having him, I had done some preparation and kind of looked into postpartum a little bit and kind of had seen some postpartum items that people had said would be helpful. So I basically just started buying all of the things and just ordering all of the things. And it was just like, I've got to find some tools and resources to be able to help myself be able to just function because it was not comfortable at all while also having to learn how to take care of this new child. And it was just a weird experience. And so about a month or 2 into my recovery with him, I'd finally gotten into this good rhythm and routine of finding like what worked, what was really helpful, what wasn't helpful. And I still like 2 months in, I was still recovering. Like I had used so many things and had found a good supply that I felt like was really, really beneficial beyond, like, way beyond what the hospital offers you. And so I just had this passion from then on. I just felt like God placed it in my heart. I was like, I feel like I had my experience so that I could be helping other moms because I know that I'm not the first mom to enter into postpartum feeling completely blindsided by it. I just had no idea what it was going to be like and how to be taking care of myself. So I kind of just talked to my husband. I was like, I feel like I want to start making these postpartum kits that just kind of, I mean, they're just dropped off at the mom's doors and it has all of the things that they need to be taking care of themselves that they either didn't know or realize that they needed, or also don't want to spend the money on because it's expensive. That was something I quickly realized also whenever buying the things for myself was that I was spending hundreds of dollars just on pads. I bought so many pads to make padsicles and there were so many things. And I was like, this is so expensive. And not everyone has the ability or the resources to be able to spend the money on those things. So that's kind of where it started. I just felt very passionate about making sure that no mom entered into postpartum feeling the way that I felt, essentially.
Sure. So we're in Rutherford County, Tennessee, for listeners who may not know that. We're in the Middle Tennessee area. And before we started recording, you were sharing with me that Moms Loving Moms operates in any county that touches Rutherford County, is who you currently service.
Yes. Yes. We just started this year going. So it had just been Rutherford County for a while. In some surrounding counties, if we had some friends or some familiar people, we would kind of make exceptions for. But because we drive to drop off the boxes. So we don't want to have to drive too far and limit ourselves. But so this year we had actually started shipping to all of Tennessee because my goal is to be able to make it something that's accessible to absolutely anyone. So this year, my goal was for us to ship to everywhere in Tennessee, not realizing I had not planned as much as I should have with realizing how large Tennessee is and how quickly that would make us grow and how many people are having babies and how little of funding we currently have versus what we need to be able to scale that large. So we had to scale back a little bit in July. So the first half of the year we had been offering to all of Tennessee. And then in July we scaled back. So now we're just doing Rutherford and any county that touches Rutherford in hopes of being able to expand again in the future once we have the proper funding for it.
Cool. Now, let's take a quick break. Hey, Secret Mom hackers. Are you a budget savvy family looking for a financial tool that can help you take control of your spending and savings? Well, I've got something fantastic to share with you: Cube Money. Cube Money is the ultimate budgeting solution that's tailor made for families who want to manage their money with ease and precision. Here's why our family loves it: it's just like the envelope system we all know, but digitized. Imagine the simplicity of old school envelope budgeting, but with a modern twist. Cube Money digitizes the envelope system, allowing you to allocate funds to specific spending categories right from your smartphone. It's like having a set of virtual envelopes for groceries, entertainment, and more, all in one app. The whole family benefits. Cube Money isn't just for individuals. It's designed to accommodate the needs of your entire family. You can set up sub-accounts for your spouse and kids, helping everyone stay on the same financial page. It's a powerful tool for teaching financial responsibility to your children. Stress-free savings. Planning for the future is a breeze with Cube Money. You can easily allocate funds for savings goals, whether it's a family vacation, a new home, or an emergency fund. It's all about turning your financial dreams into reality. So if you're ready to simplify your family's budgeting, track your spending with precision, and achieve your financial goals, give Cube Money a try. Visit their website at Cube Money to learn more. That's QUBE money.com to learn more, and use the discount code SECRETMOMHACKS, all one word, SECRETMOMHACKS, to get 2 months of their premium or family plans for free. Cube Money, on a mission to see you live more and worry less. Try Cube Money today. Now back to the show. Okay, and so I have so many questions. So forgive me if this veers off of the
No,
questions
you're
that I
fine.
sent you. And you were saying you launched in, was it January of 2020?
July 2020. Yeah. My son was born in
July
May.
of 2020.
Yeah. And it was about 2 months
Okay.
after he was born that I started it.
Okay, so July of 2020 is when you launched, and then any county that touches Rutherford County. And then you were talking about funding and wanting to extend to the rest of the state of Tennessee.
Absolutely.
So, and I think I do get to this here in just a minute down in my questions, but we'll go ahead and just ask this. How are you getting support? And
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of information on your website, but for those who may not have visited quite yet
Yeah.
and want to learn more, like, wow, this is such a cool concept. I'm well versed on what it is you do and what Moms Loving Moms does, but for the person who's just hearing about you,
Yeah.
let's give that elevator pitch of what is Moms Loving Moms exactly.
So essentially, our mission is to help moms feel loved, supported, and cared for in the postpartum period. So typically, how it works is you find out you're pregnant, you fill out our form signing up for a kit, and then we have the recipient care team that reaches out and is checking with you during pregnancy. And then you let them know once you've delivered your baby. We won't drop off the kit until you have delivered, unless it's a home birth. We kind of make some exceptions for that. But that way, if there's any changes in your type of delivery, because we make postpartum kits for vaginal deliveries and for C-section deliveries, and each one will have different items tailored to that specific delivery. So we try to wait until baby is here to know exactly what type of kit you're needing. So you'll let us know once you've delivered and like as soon as possible. So we try, like if you have had a hospital birth, we try to have the kit dropped off at your door so that it's waiting for you whenever you get home from the hospital. But essentially, just whenever you let us know, within 24 to 48 hours is typically our goal to try and get it to you by. Our kits are valued at about $120. They've got really substantial items in them, and it's supposed to help with just, I mean, any recovery that you possibly have, whether it be like my first recovery that's really rough, or like my second recovery that you may not need all of the items. We try to provide assuming for the worst so that you are set up for success rather than assuming for the best situation. And then aside from that, we have 3 free counseling sessions that are offered to each mama within their kits as well, because we really try to advocate for the mental health portion of it as well. And then we've got the recipient care team, that member that reaches out to you for pregnancy. They also check in again during postpartum, kind of just seeing how you're doing and seeing if you need anything, if you need any resources, and reminding you of your counseling sessions as well.
That is amazing. And so I just want to reiterate and I also want you though to correct me if I am incorrect, but so new moms, they sign up for this. You have your team that reaches out to them, and then this package is delivered ASAP once they've had the baby. And I love that it's two different kinds because I'm the one I was planning for an unmedicated natural birth at a birthing center, ended up in an emergency C-section,
Yeah.
didn't have all the things I needed for that, had all
Yeah.
of the things for the vaginal birth. So I love that you guys do that. That is so brilliant. And then, but I just want to clarify this is at no cost
Yeah.
to the moms,
Absolutely
right?
free.
So this is completely free. You're getting this care package that's valued at, you said, around $120
Yeah.
plus those 3 counseling sessions then on top of that, which is somebody who's been in therapy and been through counseling, those are about $100 a pop, give or
Mhm.
take, depending on who you're seeing.
Yeah.
So, wow, I mean, that's nearing like $500 in value by the time this is all said and done.
Yeah. Yeah. It's incredible, honestly.
That's
It's so needed.
incredible. It is so needed. Okay, wow, wonderful. Beth, I'm so excited about all of this. And tell us a little bit, you said with your background in mental health, so
Mhm.
prior to launching Moms Loving Moms, what were you in were you a therapist or are you a therapist
Yeah,
or
yeah, so I'm a licensed pastoral counselor. So I have my own
Okay.
private practice. So I had been counseling before I had my son, and then once I had him, I've continued to do my own private practice, and I was the one who started offering the counseling sessions whenever I did the kits. So if you got free sessions, they were with me. Just recently this year, we brought on one other therapist, and we're looking to bring on another one because we thankfully have been having more moms actually take advantage of those. There for a little while, not very many people
Sure.
did actually use them, which is a whole other problem in itself. But so now we've had a few more actually reaching out since we've had our care team kind of reminding them about them and all of that. So we have, I think we're hoping to have a team of at least 3 or 4 different therapists. But yeah, so I'm a pastoral counselor. So that's my background.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So our listeners are listening to this episode and they're like, this is all so cool. I want to support. I have financial means. I'd like to give somehow. So what's a way that somebody can give financially, or let's say maybe they're not in a position, or maybe they're tithing in another
Hmm.
way perhaps, but they want to just support somehow. What are the various ways can support Moms Living Moms?
Yeah, yeah. If they want to give financially, you can donate on our website at any point. Absolutely any amount is appreciated, honestly, because we have items in our kit that are $2. We have items in our kit that is $20. So even though you see the $120 value, it's like, well, I can't give $120. Don't worry about giving the full amount. Just give anything that you can give, and it helps in every single kit with every single item that we're buying. So you can give financially that way through that, or you can Venmo us at any point. We're just at Moms Living Moms through Venmo. But also good ways that you can support is honestly just spreading the word. I know that we will receive the funding that we need. I'm very confident in that. So just making sure that every mom is hearing about the resource and just telling moms about it so that those that are expecting can receive the kit is huge. And if you are local to Middle Tennessee and you want to get more involved, we have volunteer opportunities. We do boxing days every 2 months where you can come and actually help us make the kit. So you can kind of be hands on and see what is in each kit and kind of preparing them for the upcoming mamas. So that's one way a lot of people like to get involved. And then we also are always looking for delivery drivers. Right now, I think we have about 15 delivery drivers to help deliver these kits to all the different counties. So that's always an area that we need help as well.
Perfect. Okay. We will sidebar on those items
Yeah.
later because I'll be interested to pitch in and help. Let's talk about some aspects of self care that new moms should prioritize in those early months after giving birth. We talk a lot about self care
Mm,
on here because, as a mom who also became a single mom for a period of time,
mm,
I had my daughter, then went through a divorce
mm.
and am now remarried to whole new life chapter now,
Yeah.
but I was not doing really any self-care. I guess any self-care is better than none,
Yeah.
but there's different types and levels of self-care. And over the last few years, especially as my daughter's gotten older, and of course, with the pandemic, my divorce was prior to the pandemic, but I
Mm.
started dating like right around the time the pandemic started.
Yeah.
And so I feel like the pandemic forced a lot of people to really reevaluate their self care routines.
Absolutely.
So, but let's talk about that. in particular for new moms
Mm,
and even moms who might not be so new. Maybe they have a 5-year-old or a 10-year-old. I think self-care is important for all of us
mhm.
moms.
Yeah.
But what are some ways in particular though for new moms just prioritizing self-care that you can speak to?
Yeah, yeah. I think one thing, like whenever you're, especially when you're first entering into motherhood, or even if it is your third, fourth child, like with that new baby, it's like you just have this feeling of like I have to be there constantly. I have to be the one to help the baby when they're crying. I have to be there to snuggle them. I have to be there to do. And there's nothing wrong with that. But if you do have somebody who is there to support and who is there, like you have a husband who's there to also give support and who's also able to help, I think allowing yourself to accept the help and allowing yourself to take a bath and not rush and to go poop and not rush. Just do things for yourself where you're not like, but the baby's crying, I have to go do this, or I have to do this only whenever the baby's asleep. Or it's if you have that support and if you have that help or someone willing to help you so that you can just take a minute to yourself, just allow yourself to do that because we can put so much stress and pressure on ourselves and we can burn ourselves out so quickly because it's like, I have to be there, I have to do this, I have to do that. Like, you don't though. Like, yes, it is awesome that you're wanting to and awesome whenever you're able to, but it's also okay to have help. I think that that is a huge just release to take off of yourself and being able to just accept that you can go to the bathroom and not have to stop the second that a baby is crying. So I think that that can be a huge just the self-talk that we give ourselves and that narrative of I have to do that. It's like you can take a break. That's okay.
Speaking of self-talk, what insight would you share in terms of moms, again, in particular new moms, cultivating that self-compassion during a time when they might be dealing with self-doubt, especially
Mm,
if you've never been through this before,
yeah.
just the exhaustion that can come with all of it.
Yeah. I think, like, first and foremost, just constantly reminding yourself that whatever it is you're experiencing is temporary. This is temporary. This season is temporary. The hormones are temporary. Like, especially that first year of postpartum when the hormones are still leveling out, that takes so much longer than we realize. And so being able to just kind of give yourself that compassion of recognizing, like, things are still just leveling out. It's not going to be like this forever. It's not going to feel like this forever. It's absolutely temporary, I think can be huge. Just recognizing the way kind of I think a lot of times mom can get caught up in the like not being enough. Like I didn't do enough. I am not enough. It's this constant getting to the end of the day and feeling like, well, I didn't do this and this and this, or I could have done this, or I should have done that. And I think allowing ourselves to have kind of a measure of like what is enough for me at the end of the day, like how can I measure and look back and say yeah but I did this really well. And I think just kind of allowing ourselves to give ourselves that pat on the back like yeah sure I could have done this but I did do this and that was great. And just letting ourselves feel good about things that we are doing because it's so much easier to think about all the things we're doing wrong or that we didn't do right or that we should have done differently while not recognizing the things that you did do well and the things that you did do correctly and all that too. So it's such a fine balance to find.
What practical self-care routines or practices can new moms incorporate into their daily lives? Because I know some of us, not naming any names, but would be like, "Oh, I took a bubble bath like a month ago." And it's like, well, maybe a month is too long. No wonder you're so frazzled. But like
Yeah.
on a day-to-day basis, what's something that you might recommend?
Oh man, that's so tough. It's so tough because it's going to look so different for everyone because everyone's life and routines look so different and I mean just support systems look so different. So obviously that's going to kind of make a difference. But I think honestly just like approaching it with the mindset of like I can implement something every day because that's again it goes with that mindset of I'm just like it's just not my season right now. I can't help myself. I can't take the time. I can't. And it's like you can. We just have to plan it out. We have to try to be intentional with it, even if it is just 5 minutes of I'm going to go sit in my room by myself quietly. I'm just going to give myself that space, just figuring out what it is that would be helpful for you personally and how can we try to fit that into your daily routine. Because if we view it with a I can make this happen, I just have to plan it, then it's so much easier than I just can't make this happen right now. And you're not going to do it.
Okay, friends, that's our stopping point for today's episode. I want to extend a huge thank you to Beth for making time to speak with me. Don't forget to check out the Moms Loving Moms website at momslovingmoms.com, where if you live in the Middle Tennessee area, you can sign up to receive your free postpartum box. Make sure you tell any expectant moms who live in this area about this free resource as well. The website also shows the super cute merch they have available and also shares ways you can help through donations and or volunteering. You can also find them on Facebook and Instagram, and I've got those links in today's show notes over at secretmomhacks.com/episode 49. So we're halfway through our interview, and I'm curious what your favorite part was so far. I hope you're walking away inspired with tips either for yourself or that new mom you know. If that's the case, please subscribe for free if you haven't already. Give me a 5-star rating and leave a review sharing your favorite takeaways so far. Don't forget to stop by secretmomhacks.com where you can find transcripts, resources, and more. Stay tuned for next week's episode where we continue part 2 of my chat with the incredible Beth Wheeler. Until then, you've got this, mama.